Could take the line out. Could Poppy clear. So powerful, Saracens here. As ever, looking for try number 4 before half time. Oh, they've gone out on the short side. It's May Campbell again.
Happy New Year, rugby fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Women's Rugby Show, bringing you comprehensive coverage and the best content from the women's game. Adam, the fans haven't seen us since before Christmas, so what do we have coming up in the first episode of 2020?
Well, for those of you that are still feeling a little sluggish after having too much turkey and mince pies on Christmas, or for those of you that are still recovering after going ham on New Year's Eve, or even for those of you that are just itching to get back your top flight women's rugby, we have the perfect dose for you. Second place, Saracens Women. Third place, Loughborough Lightning. TP15's round 11, Allianz Park, now.
Coming up, we'll be seeing how these two league giants match up and bringing you highlights from the game and exclusive thoughts and insight from the players. And looking on current form, it looks to be an epic clash.
Now, we don't know if any of you have made any New Year's resolutions, but we do know how difficult they are to keep. But do not worry, folks, because we have got 4 really easy ones that are so simple you can tick them off your checklist so that you don't feel bad about the ones that you haven't kept, like not going to the gym every day or not eating chocolate throughout the whole of January. So, are you ready? They are: 1, like this video; 2, subscribe to the Women's Rugby Show on YouTube; 3, follow us across social media. If you haven't already, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and most importantly, tell anyone that you know that loves their rugby about the Women's Rugby Show. Simple.
And don't forget to check out our sponsor, Rugby RFC Clothing, because unlike Adam, when you are keeping up with your New Year's resolutions, with your training, you're in the gym, and you're looking flames, you're going to want to dress like a warrior as well.
Alright, smart ass, what's your New Year's resolution?
My New Year's resolution is schooling you in the art of analysis.
Alright, Amy, time for you to put your money where your mouth is. Tell us why you think Saracens Women are going to win here today.
Easy. I got a number for you.
Go on.
1,280.
What's that?
That is the amount of minutes that Saracens have not lost a game at home. Now, to put that into some perspective for you, that is 658 days, 21 months and 18 days, or 1 year and 9.5 months. In that time, England's women netball team won a Commonwealth gold, Prince Louis was born, France won the male football World Cup, USA won the women's football World Cup, South Africa won the Rugby World Cup, and of course, the Women's Rugby Show launched.
Okay, yeah, that is quite impressive, and it makes things a little bit difficult for me to put Loughborough Lightning's case forward, but I'm certainly going to try. And I'm going to try by giving you a number.
Go on then.
1,481. That is the total amount of points that Lightning have scored since they joined the Premier 15s 2.5 years ago. And if you add that to their league finishes and the fact they appeared in a playoff place semi-final last season, well, they are on par with Gloucester Hartpury as the 4th most successful side in this competition. You could even say in the country. Add that to the fact they've got international class and world-class players, and they've been getting stronger and stronger week on week, season on season.
So with all that talent at their disposal, who is going to be the main player or players that are going to make the difference for the home team? Now, to take a look at that properly, we need to have a look at the opposition and their threats. Emily Scarrett is the queen of breaking through the middle, and Rona Lloyd, if she sees any open grass, she's going to be straight there, putting on the jets. So aside from their opposite numbers having to be on point, most of the game is going to rely on Sarah McKenna. She's going to have to play a lot closer to her backs and make sure she doesn't give them that room to get.
Yeah, that's right, Amy. You could say that when Lightning strikes, they normally do so via their back three. In fact, did you know that Loughborough Lightning's 11, 14 and 15 positions have more tries collectively than any other team in the Premier 15s? Not only that, but if you add all their tries from their back line, it adds up to 41, which is astounding. But the one player that I want to highlight for them doesn't normally get thrust into the limelight. Canadian prop Daliaka Meenin, and I apologise if I've not pronounced that correctly, she's an absolute beast. She's played in all 10 of Loughborough's games this season, and she's carried on her fine form from last year. She is a big, strong player and will be the perfect counter to the likes of Poppy Cleal or Rosie Galligan, those strength players who like to go in hard. Saracens have still got a young, relatively inexperienced pack. They are getting stronger, but when you've got someone of Menin's calibre going in and disrupting them, she could literally be the fulcrum at attacking Saracens from the front.
Well, if my two other points weren't convincing enough for you, Adam, Saracens are the most successful team in the Tyrrell's Premier 15 at having a comeback in the last quarter, having been behind in the previous 60 minutes. We've seen it 2 to 3 times already this season, including against today's opponents. They've got talent overflowing at Allianz Park, and their winning mentality is quite the Rubik's Cube to crack.
Yeah, it makes things a little bit difficult for any side, but I'm going to finish my analysis by giving the women in black a word of warning. Yes, you may have been undefeated in what seems like forever, but as Amy said, let's not forget the reverse fixture earlier this season. You were out-muscled, outrun, out-battled, and if it wasn't for a last-minute try, well, you wouldn't have won 28-24. And your season, just like this analysis, may look a little bit different. Loughborough Lightning have been electric in patches. Saracens have been questionable in patches. And there's only so much luck that you can have before it runs out. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Saracens are a lucky side. All I'm saying is you can't come from behind in so many instances without it catching up with you. And a team like Loughborough Lightning, who have got the quality, calibre and confidence, well, they're the kind of side that will pounce and they will make you pay.
So who do you think is going to win?
Well, I can't believe I'm going to say this after everything I've been saying about Loughborough Lightning. I do want to say Loughborough, they have a world-class player in Emily Scarrett. Let's not ignore that in any way, shape or form. But you've swayed me. It's Saracens Women, it's Allianz Park, they're at home, they're undefeated, and I think they're going to be undefeated again today. What about you?
Well, it's my local team, so I'm going to go with the Saracens. Not just because of that, but as you said, they are unbeaten, and I want them to go all the way again. So I've got to stick with the women in black.
Well, so I guess it's New Year, same Sarries.
With the final fixture of last year postponed due to Richmond's waterlogged pitch, the last time the reigning champs actually played was mid-December's astonishing comeback versus Harlequins. With his squad ready and raring to play, Alex Ostery makes 3 changes to his pack as Alex Ellis and May Campbell come into the front row at prop and hooker respectively. That means rising star Mackenzie Carson joins Marley Packer and Poppy Cleal in the loose Ford trio. It's a similar backline that started the Quins game as Lisa Martin and Hannah Casey link up in midfield for the 3rd time this season, with Zoe Harrison keeping the 10 jersey. Sarah McKenna was injured in the warm-up, so she's replaced by Chantel Meal. And shout out to Sonia Green, who will be playing in her 3rd decade for the Women in Black, having made her debut in 2002.
Loughborough Lightning had a positive end to 2019, finishing the decade in 3rd place in the Tyrrell's Premier 15's table just before Christmas with 4 wins in a row. So it's no surprise that Rhys Edwards aims to maintain that momentum by naming his strongest side possible, with only minor changes from the starting 15 who annihilated Bristol Bears 55-7 before Christmas. Georgia Bradley has had a great season so far, and she returns into the pack at 6, pushing Jo Brown onto the bench. The only other change comes at scrum half, with Megan Davey replacing Jenny Maxwell. And for the first time this decade, Johnny Hammond is going to guide us through today's action.
Saracens sweeping forward here early on. Brilliant line from Hannah Casey. Back into the forwards. They go round the side, so powerful. We know that of Saracens. Ellis has gone round the right hand side. Referee goes round to check. First try to the champs. Sweeping forward again, Saracens. Bottoman, Marley Packer. Also comfortable with ball in hand. Hayward to Zoe Harrison. She's stopped by Sarah Hunter. Again, Saracens look to use the pick and go. Bottoman on that short side. Campbell borrowing and scoring. What's Katie Daly-McLean doing here? She's put it into her England captain, Sarah Hunter, just a metre short. Advantage coming. Joe Brown picks up the replacement. Lightning get one back. And it's the full 7 points as well. Gallagher into the heavy traffic. Hayward looks down the short side. Wave after wave of attack here from Saracens. Hayward, Bottoman, somehow getting the offloads away. Harrison goes in for Saracens. Brilliant score. Lisa Martin has the 2 as well. Good take of the line out from Poppy Cleo. So powerful, Saracens here. As ever, looking for try number 4 before half-time. Oh, they've gone down on the short side. It's May Campbell again. Zoe Harrison, tough kick from the sidelines, but it won't matter. The bonus point in the first 40. Just the start to the second half. Loughborough Lightning needed. Katie Daly-McLean. She's taken. They pop round the side. It's Sarah Hunter. Gone to the tail. Somehow Bottoman's won it. Then Poppy Cleo fending off Daly-McLean. Packer. Marley Packer. Lisa Martin to make it 31 points to 12. Good second half. Resurgence here from Loughborough Lightning. Megan Davey, the scrum half. Katie Daly-McLean. Scarrett. Scarrett with that familiar step. Emily Scarrett. She's a worldie. Lisa Martin just to stem the flow of Loughborough points. Takes her time. Easy enough though for her. 34-19. Davey scanning, stepping, Menin, pirouettes, Menin. Great score from Menin. Loughborough not done yet. Katie Daly-McLean, important 2 points, she gets them. Still not done, Loughborough Lightning here. Talling, brilliant line out take. Saracens try to bring it down, but they're motoring now, Lightning. Towards that line. They're over. There's been some comeback from Lightning, but the champions want the final say here. They hit the power button as they so often do. They're there, Saracens, to put the game out of reach. Zoe Harrison will kick them all out. What a game. What a performance from Saracens.
May, congratulations. Another really exciting game, especially for you guys. How does it feel to come away with a win, especially after that kind of game?
Pretty relieved, to be honest. We didn't sort of end it how we wanted to, obviously with the try at the end, but we were under a huge amount of pressure, and sort of luckily we were able to make sure that we got that win in the end. I think at half time we were feeling pretty good. We started probably the best we have all season, and then we just let them come back, and we just need to make sure that we have that 80-minute performance. Sometimes it seems to be second half where we come back, And this time it was vice versa, so we need to make sure that it's better next time, really.
How come you started so well? Because you were flying out the gates. You especially scored a couple of meat pies. What was the difference between the other games where you started slowly and this one where you just went flying out the traps?
I'm not really sure. I think we've definitely spoken a lot about the start in our own time, and it was kind of a time of, I think our lives are up, to be honest, and we know, particularly when we played them earlier, it was I think we scored in the last play, and we just need to stop putting ourselves under that amount of pressure. So we really focused on starting well, so that the game followed from there.
Did it help or hinder you that you had that game before Christmas postponed and you didn't get to play before Christmas?
I'm not really. Well, it was kind of, hopefully it was a sort of build up to try and end 2019 unbeaten, which we did, but then we didn't end up playing. So it was a little bit of an anticlimax because we were really looking forward to it, but it just meant that we could have a bit more time off, let our bodies recover, and then we've been pretty on it in training, to be honest. So I think it has helped looking at our performance today. So yeah.
In the second half, do you think maybe you went in a bit too overconfident? Obviously, they came back with 3 or 4 tries in succession, and there was risk of the game coming away from you.
Yeah, I think it wasn't sort of overconfidence. I think it was we just didn't execute in areas where we should have. Whereas in the first half, we made sure getting out our own 22, we were clinical in those areas, and those were sort of lacking. And I think they scored from our mistakes. For instance, the first kick-off. It gave them momentum that we didn't need to give them, and especially with the backs that they have, they like to throw it around, and we sort of got caught on our heels there. So I guess we need to next time come out from half time and sort of really draw a line under that first half, so that we go again sort of fresh mind, so that those things don't happen again.
Absolutely. And last question, I'm sure I know what the answer is. Obviously, you're going into the Six Nations break. How important is it that you get another win under the belt next week and keep up with the only team that's above you in the league?
Really important. I think Worcester will be a great threat next week. They're sort of been playing exceptionally well, and I think it's quite good when we've got these breaks coming up for the non-internationals, because it means that we can sort of focus on that game particularly, and then knowing that we've got time to rest and recover to then regroup and come back and put all the sort of skills together again. So yeah, we're really looking forward to it, and it's been nice to come away, but everyone's been sort of raring to go to get rugby started again this year.
Great. Well, Happy New Year. Congratulations on the win, and congratulations on your 2 tries as well. Good luck for next week.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, mate. Katie, what a game. Really entertaining. A bit of a cliche to say it was a game of 2 halves, but how did you see it?
Yeah, I think when we arrived here, we knew it was going to be windy, and it's definitely, like you say, a game of 2 halves, kind of one way you're going into the wind, the way you've got behind your back. So we kind of knew that if we could keep Sarries to not a massive lead at half time, that we'd give ourselves an opportunity, and we did. I think the disappointing thing for us is just how many errors we made. I think that first 20 minutes, at times, myself included, we just made too many errors, and sides like this that are very dominant, great pack, will punish you, and they did.
Was that the biggest negative from your side, do you think, that made the biggest difference, certainly in the first half? Was it just the errors, or was it just the fact that Saracens are so big, are so powerful, they are playing at home? Yeah,
I think you can't credit to all those girls. I mean, you look at the tries that scored, they're very dominant in terms of their set piece and their forward pack, and it's very well drilled. So if they're going to go the line out, the likelihood is they're going to put you under pressure, and we conceded. I think for us though, we give cheap penalties away, zone knocks it 50 metres, we're in a corner, and then in this wind going into it, it was hard to get out, or we're kind of conceding points and then we're having to restart. So I think, for us it's a bit disappointing.
Did you have that confidence after what happened last year, this season, where obviously you almost beat them? Did that give you confidence coming into this game, knowing that they are absolutely beatable despite what the stats say?
Yeah, I think you've got to come into the game and you come in with the aim of winning. Like obviously we want to keep winning and really kind of start to build momentum. I think you've got to take it to credit how good Sarries are and almost like kind of the winning mentality that they've created here, especially when they're at home. I don't think they've ever lost at home. But I think for us, the positives we will take from that game is that actually when we played, and we probably only played for 20 minutes at a time, that actually we can really cause the best teams lots of problems.
Although you lost today, obviously you take away those positives about challenging the best teams. How do you see this building on for the latter half of the season?
Yeah, I think for us and probably for all the girls, we only play 2 games and obviously internationals go off and then you come back March, April. So I think it's probably that'll be for our club girls is a good opportunity to get a bit of block of training. We want to finish obviously with a win against Waterloo next week and to kind of give ourselves good front footing to come back in. I think it's the end of March, beginning of April.
It's like 6 weeks off.
So it's a big old gap. So I think
not
these
for
games,
you though.
No, hopefully, fingers crossed. These games are you just want to get people playing. You want to start to build after Christmas. So I think, like I say, there was some real positives about the things we did. Like all credit to Sarries, they took that win and they kind of fought deep. But I think it'll be interesting come the business end about where teams are placed and kind of what that top 4 eventually looks like.
Speaking of which, first season finished 5th. Last season in the semi-final, how far can this team go?
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of it. And if you speak to Reece knows that he wants to play this attacking brand of rugby. The team's kind of got a lot of quality, it's got a lot of youth in it as well. And I think for us, we just want to keep trying to get that 80 performance. I think obviously those guys have the end targets of where they want us to place. But for us, and especially for me, I just want us to see trying to get like that 70-minute performance. Because at the moment we're given like a great 40 for first half, and then obviously these guys can beat us at home, or we've got a great, awful 40 and a great finishing with a second 40. So I think if we can start putting some of that together and get more of a 60-70 minute performance, then I think it'll be really pleasing.
Absolutely. We're really sorry about today, but good luck for the rest of the season and hopefully see you in an England shirt in the next couple of weeks.
Fingers crossed. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Cheers guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Zoe. How does it feel to get the first win under your belt of 2020?
It feels fantastic. Obviously our last game was Harlequins and we had to really push for that to end our 2019 on a high, and it's great to come now into 2020 on a high. So hopefully we can just keep pushing forward this year and just keep it going.
And with Harlequins winning their game and obviously you winning this one, how important is it to keep up the momentum and really send that message out to Harlequins?
Yeah, massively. I think we're both racing to the top here, so hopefully we keep pushing each other really to be top spot, and I just think if we just keep winning and playing the best we can, then hopefully we'll come out on top.
And those last 7 minutes of this game, it did look like it could have gone either way.
Yeah.
How did you guys pull it out of the bag? I mean, you guys are known for doing this, comeback queens, but how did you do it?
I think we were just like girls, like patience, like let's calm down, let's reassess and just go from there. We know that our forwards are a strong point in the mauling, so we're like, let's just keep building, let's keep building up the pitch because we're down in our 22, let's keep going up there, let's put them under pressure and let's see how far we can get. And then luckily we got a penalty, we kick to the corner, and then our maul is our strong point, so then we went and scored a try.
And you had a little extra extended Christmas break. Do you think that the extra rest helped you today?
I think yes and maybe no, because we're one less on playing, so we haven't played for 3 weeks, so that's quite a long rest. But I mean we still have that much coming in a few weeks, but I think yes, the girls were energised. As you can see, we came out really well in the first half, so I think that was a positive. But we now need to complete an 80-minute game where we're on the front foot for the whole game.
And in the second half, Loughborough came back. They were really strong. Their scrums were fantastic. What happened in the start of the second half for Sarries?
I'm not sure. I just don't. I think we needed to come in as we came in as the first half. I don't think we did that. As I say, we need to complete this 80-minute performance, and we just keep dropping off at the moment. So I think that's what we need to really work on in these next couple of games, is to complete this 80-minute performance.
Well, you got the result in the end, and that's all that counts in this game. And you are our woman of the match, so congratulations. You are the Ruggett RFC Clothing woman of the match. Congratulations. Well, what an amazing game to kick off the decade at the Women's Rugby Show. Littered with tries, attacking rugby. There's definitely plenty to talk about there.
And I got the prediction right.
We both got the prediction right.
Yeah, but I said it first.
Only because I asked you first.
No comment.
Anyway, what did you think of the game, Adam?
I thought it was unreal. This is now the third game in a row that we've done, which perfectly highlights how amazing women's rugby can be, especially at this level. I thought that Lightning were going to come back into it and actually snatch the victory, but fair play to Saracens. We said what we said at the beginning of the show. They do what they do, they play at home, they put in a performance and they win. What about you?
And they can carry on winning when it might look like they're not going to get it in the end, because it did look like Loughborough were going to take them over, or at least draw for a second, but then they come back into the game. You can't stop them. They do what they do best, as you said, and they win it.
Exactly.
So sadly we've come to the end of our episode, but don't forget to
Like this video,
subscribe to us on YouTube,
follow us across social media,
and don't forget to tell all of your friends about the Women's Rugby Show. And
also do check out our sponsor Ruggett RFC, bespoke women's rugby clothing for all shapes, all sizes, all positions, and as a little treat from us, if you enter Women's Rugby Show at checkout, you'll get 10% off.
And I will be back again next week, aren't you very lucky? I'll be covering the Wasp Bristol Bears game next week, so I'll see you then.
Bye guys.